with this video, just kind of it's a continuation of the previous slide where one of our interns, she's discussing how she never really processed race or the idea of, being a Black person, because obviously she was attending mostly Black and brown schools. So everyone around her looked like her, so she didn't feel that she needed to, address or combat any issues with racism. So Marla, you can go ahead and click it.
Black and Latino and Hispanic, and so like Uche, I never was aware of race in the way that I am currently at my predominantly white institution. It just wasn't something that was thought about in the way that it is now, similar to Miracle's point and the ways that I'm treated in my everyday interactions. So I'm definitely more conscious about my race at my school, and I definitely think it factors into a lot of things, whether it's overtly or covertly.
So KJ, if you can just kind of talk about maybe when you started to feel, I guess, awareness about your race.
Sure. So I would say I believe I've always been aware of the fact that I was Black. However, being aware of how to move within society as a Black woman, I was very aware when I left school. I don't think I've ever been more aware of the fact that I was Black. And I haven't been more aware than I would say when I went into my graduate program. I had a lot of people who looked like me there. However, it was this feeling of there's more diversity, therefore I have to excel differently. There is more that is asked of me that maybe my HBCU didn't prepare me for whatever reason they didn't. So I definitely really am aware of the fact that I am Black and a woman today in this current state.
I'll start from in my childhood. Very unaware of my Blackness. Like, I knew I was Black, but I didn't necessarily have a definition for it or knew what it meant to me until I transitioned into Howard University. And the reason I became aware of my Blackness at an HBCU was a traumatic experience. My freshman year, we actually had like a threat to all of the Black students attending the university, where they basically said we couldn't walk outside, go to the metro, the trains, or anything like that. And like, it was like a full campus lockdown, which is interesting because Howard is an open campus. So no matter what you really did, there was always a loophole that could be gone through. And now I'm even more aware of my Blackness as I'm navigating this PWI experience, because I'm one of 2 Black women in my cohort. And one of 5 or 6 in the entire program as it stands. So not being able to see as many people that look like me makes me more aware of defining what Blackness is to me.
I would say similar to my response earlier. I think my parents and just like my community always helped me to be aware of my Blackness and art history very early on. And so I grew up in a predominantly Black community, attending predominantly Black schools, and then I moved to Tennessee, which was a transition within itself. And that is when I think I started to realize that I'm Black in a different way. And so in the sense, like, the history that I learned from my parents was more so in a way to revel in our Blackness, and then I got to Tennessee and it was like I was ostracized from my Blackness, and so that was a transition within itself. And then now having gone to Spelman and now being at the University of Florida again, I think I just kind of leaned back into those things of like reveling in our history and being unapologetically Black, like Candace you mentioned earlier, but I think I've always been aware of it. I think just the different settings I've been in have helped me to, I think, conceptualize it differently to navigate these different situations.